Welcome to the We Talk Health Podcast, the official podcast for West Tennessee Healthcare. Please be advised that this podcast is not intended to replace any medical advice. Always follow your medical professional's advice and direction. Nothing said in this podcast is intended to supersede or supplement the direction of your medical caretakers. If you have any questions, please reach out to us at wetalkhealthpodcast@gmail.com, and we will do our best to answer any questions you may have.
Welcome to another episode of We Talk Health. My name is Kwasigroh, and I'm here today with some people from Sports Plus. We've got Travis Livingston, Georgia Hopkins, and Cathy Sudbury. Two of them are athletic trainers. One is the marketing manager of Sports Plus. How are you guys doing today?
I'm good.
Are you good? I'm great. Thank y'all for coming in on such short notice. All right, so today we're going to be talking about the role of athletic trainers, maybe specifically in schools. I know lots of schools around West Tennessee have Sports Plus athletic trainers on the field, on the courts with them as the games are happening to help with any injuries or any prep that has to go into getting a game off and running. So I'd love to talk about that today, what you guys do, who you guys might work with day to day.
Okay, we'll start off first, let you know we do have 17 schools that we do cover with athletic trainers. When I say cover, that is through West Tennessee Healthcare and Sports Plus. We place them in the schools to work with the athletic directors and the students. And that is where I'm going to let Travis pick up and tell exactly what an athletic trainer is.
Athletic trainer, I would say the easiest way to describe it is care and prevention of athletic injuries. There's a lot more to it than that, but that's the easiest definition to come up with. We do administrative work. We talk to coaches. We set up doctor's appointments, PT appointments, you name it, we probably do it.
So when you say you are caring for the students, what the general public does not know is that you guys are there on the sidelines. You're there on the field when they're practicing. You're also even in the gym when they are working out in just everyday practice, correct?
Yes, that's right.
So this is an everyday and even nighttime work for you guys.
Yes, I receive phone calls from coaches at 4 a.m. I've received phone calls from coaches at 11 p.m. It never stops, and part of it.
Part of it. Well, Georgia, this is your first year, correct?
Yes.
And we welcome you and thank you for being part of our team. So you were prepared through school, and if you will tell what your education, and the reason we're telling that, we want the general public to know what exactly it takes to become an athletic trainer and the skills that y'all have, and the reason why we want you on the sidelines.
So I went to Union University. I went to school for 4 years, and I got into the program my sophomore year, so I received 3 years of athletic training courses. Before that, it was preparation for the athletic training program. To get into the athletic training program, you actually have to go through an interview process, which actually prepares you for work. During the 3 years of schooling in the athletic training program, you do courses of modalities, prevention, taking care of injuries like Travis said. So in the education course, we have to do multiple hours as a student. We work with the preceptor, which most of our preceptors at Union were provided through Sports Plus. So that helps us get a hands-on experience. Travis was my preceptor in college, so that helped me get a gist of what Sports Plus was like.
What a guy.
Did the best I could.
There you go.
With that, a lot of our trainers go on to do a master's. Is that correct?
Yes, no. Right now it's not required. I got mine, I graduated undergrad in 2007 and then went to East Tennessee State and got my master's degree and graduated there in 2009. But it's not required at the moment. There are some master's level programs, but it's not required to go there. Now, starting next year, 2021, the athletic training program is moving to a master's level only course load.
And the reason I brought that up is that you guys are the first medics, basically. I hate not to call you medics, but on the sideline when a student does get hurt.
First line of defense,
Thank you, first line of defense. And that is our goal, is to make sure the general public realizes that you guys are trained. You are trained firsthand to know what to do and how to do it. And that is the reason why we were talking today, is what that athletic trainer can do for that parent's child that's out there on that field or on the court.
I mean, we're training CPR. We can splint fractures, take care of lacerations, cuts, make sure the scene is stable until the EMS gets on site, or helicopter if that is necessary.
All right, so Georgia and Travis, what does an average day look like for you guys? Do you go to the schools in the morning? Are you there in the afternoons? Do you eat, breathe, sleep, wake up thinking about students and sports and the combo of that?
The job's definitely on my mind, on the mind a lot. My day, generally, I get there. The students don't have a whole lot of time to get into the clinic or in the athletic training room at the school, so I get there when they're out of class. I get there at noon, and I'm there until everything ends. Generally, pre-practice treatments, whatever it is. If there's any kind of little rehab I'm doing on them, tape, wrap, Band-Aids, whatever they need for practice to get them ready, stretching them out, and then during the practices, it's a little slower, but I'm there just in case someone gets hurt, and that way I can take care of that, whatever needs to be done. After the practices are over, ice them down, whatever other post-practice treatments they need. So that can take till 7, 8 o'clock at night. Mm-hmm. Some days it's only till 5. It just depends on games and schedules and stuff.
Like sometimes the games themselves go pretty late, but you guys don't leave when the last whistle is called. You guys are there with the team till they leave, and probably after, I would assume.
Yeah, generally after the games are over, we're there for another 30, 45 minutes, taking care of whatever needs to be taken care of. Yeah. What's your day like, Georgia?
So my day would look like, it's kind of hard to say depending on if those kids practice during the day or not. I've had multiple basketball practices that have been during the day, during their third block or fourth block. I try to get up there for those, even though they will practice again after school. I'd like to be on call, I guess, for that if I'm not there. All of us are on call 24/7, like Travis mentioned earlier. If I don't go up to school during the day, then I'll get there around 2 o'clock. Kids normally get out of school. They come straight to me if they're injured or I'm preventing an injury or doing rehab or something like that. I get calls throughout the day from coaches. If I need to go up there earlier, I will take care of the kids to get them out ready for practice. Stay till the end of practice, ice. If anything were to happen, take care of that. Then I'm leaving normally after practice. Those normally end around 6 or 7. If I have a game, you just never know when those are going to end.
Sure.
So,
when did you know you wanted to be an athletic trainer? Were you in high school and you worked with someone that you were like, dang, that's kind of cool, I want to do that? Or were you in college and then switched to it? Like, what was that thought process?
So I have been an athlete all my life, and I've come in contact with athletic trainers since I was in middle school. I'd say Blake Butler, he's actually one of my coworkers. He was my athletic trainer in middle school and high school. At first, I was kind of scared of the athletic trainers because I always thought you have to be hurt to go see them and all this stuff like that. It's more than that as an athletic trainer. I got to see firsthand as an athlete that they do more than just care for injuries. They care for you as an athlete and as a person. And going through college, playing sports, I was building a stronger relationship with my athletic trainer as they took care of me through all my injuries. So it's actually been a dream of mine always to be an athletic trainer. I never thought to do anything else.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Mine is similar, only I didn't always want to be an athletic trainer. My first profession that I wanted to do is I love the outdoors. I wanted to be outdoors. I actually wanted to be a park ranger.
Okay.
Not many people know that.
That's cool.
But I was playing basketball one day after football season ended and sprained my ankle pretty severely, and then spent the next 5 months rehabbing that ankle with my athletic trainer at the high school. And once I got in there and saw everything, that's kind of where everything fell in line.
Yeah, that's cool.
We're responsible for everyone in the gym or on the field because we're the first line of care. So if there's not anyone else there, we're going to be the first ones to step up for emergency situations. For instance, I've had to help with a person in the stands who was having a seizure. So it's stuff like that that people don't really realize that's what we do. They see us technically straight into sports, not other care.
Travis, you've been doing this for how long again?
I got certified in 2007, August timeframe.
Okay, so you have seen and been with several students throughout your course of your career. I was just wondering, what has been one of the most difficult situations that maybe you have been in since you are the first line of defense and you're there and you're taking care of that patient, or that student rather, as a patient? What is it comes to mind to you that?
I would say one of the more difficult situations I've been in is when you're working on the sideline on your own. When you're at the college level, you're generally going to have a few people there on the sideline during football games. So when you're on your own and there's multiple people that go down, it's trying to take care of all those at once.
Assess who needs it most.
So I've been in a situation where I had an athlete on the sideline that I was evaluating for a concussion, and I had another one go down on the field. So had someone watch him, ran on the field. Next thing I know, someone else has whooshed him off, and I can't leave the field, and I'm trying to organize, trying to get all this stuff figured out. And, it's situations like that where people don't necessarily abide by what you say. That's probably the hardest thing.
I do understand that you guys have that somewhat of a difficulty that's the reason we're doing this podcast, is that the general public doesn't realize that you are the first line of defense, and we need the parents, we need the coaches, we all need them to understand what a certified athletic trainer can do and why they're there on that field. The general United States has not mandated that there be an athletic trainer. We're very blessed in West Tennessee to have these that West Tennessee Healthcare will provide for our schools. So that's the reason why I was trying to point out that there are difficult situations, and that we know we've got them covered with you guys there, whether it's on the field or on the court or the soccer field, wherever that you may be. And that's another thing that we'd like to touch base with all the sports that you cover. You being at the college level, you cover how many sports?
Well, right now I'm in a junior college, so there's only 4 sports. So it's not quite as stressful as Georgia right now.
Georgia, how many sports do you have there at Southside High School?
I cover all sports at Southside High School. So in the fall, it's normally mainly football and women's soccer. In the spring, it kind of gets crazy because you can have basketball going on at the same time as softball, boys soccer, baseball, track, all those sports.
You guys stay busy for sure.
For sure.
Earlier, parents were mentioned. What does it mean to the parents, for them to know that you guys are out there with their kids? I'm not a parent, so I can't speak to that. But if I had a kid who was playing football and I saw them get hurt, I would imagine it would be a very scary moment for them, watching their kid get hurt. But you guys are bound to have some sort of testimony from parents who are saying, like, we love our Sports Plus trainers. Have you guys run into that in the past?
All the time.
That's cool.
They're stoked to have us on the sideline, on the court, taking care of their athletes. Because a lot of times, they come from middle school and they don't really... Yeah. They didn't have much there, and then they get there and they know, oh, wow, you're here? You provide this for free to the school? And then they're just super thankful and love to have us there.
You said free.
Yes. Our services are completely free to every school we cover.
Yes, that's correct. We do provide that services to the schools that have come to us that have asked for athletic training, and they want to make sure we have those trainers out there. And I want to make sure people do understand when we refer to them as trainers, but they're athletic trainers. That is not what you're thinking as a personal trainer. There's a big difference. These guys have, as we discussed earlier, put in a lot of education to make sure they are trained to take care of the students and teach them the proper way to do things. But if they do get hurt, they are trained to help them recover as well.
That's really cool. I didn't know that until recently, and that's one of the coolest things, in my opinion, is the fact that Sports Plus hosts several different schools all around West Tennessee, and it's free. That's massive.
Talking about the free services, I've had multiple parents they don't have insurance. So being in a high school with kids who don't have insurance, like Travis, he works at a college, so their college can kind of cover those insurance bills and everything like that. Whereas in a high school, I can kind of differentiate where it's an emergent situation or if it's not.
And what a lot of people don't realize, this started over 20 years ago, putting this service in these schools.
Oh.
So we have been out there on the fields, in the basketball, in the gyms with these students for many years now. They have established a reputation that the schools know that we will take care of their students, and that's the reason this program has worked so well.
And when you say gym, you're not only talking about like a basketball gym. You're talking about like a workout gym.
Workout gym,
So
correct.
The athletic trainers are in there while your students might be working out, getting proper education on how to deadlift or how to bench press correctly.
That's
correctly.
correct.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, their daily task is to check on their schools each day. And, their day could start, some days could start at 8. Most of their days probably start at 2 o'clock and may end at 10 by the time they finish being in there for the practices to, to the games.
And it's not just home games you guys are there. You guys are there for all games, correct?
We travel with, the high school athletic trainers that we have travel with football to away games and generally postseason games for other sports. But
and the majority of their tournaments as well.
Yeah, the tournaments.
Gotcha.
But going back to you, touch on we've been here for over 20 years, just to kind of show everyone or tell everyone how we've grown. When we started, I think we had like 2 athletic trainers on staff, and we were providing coverage to almost the same amount of schools we cover now.
Wow.
And over that course of time, I got hired in about 10 years ago, and even then, we still only had about 7 or 8. And in that 10 years, we're up to 17, 18 athletic trainers on staff now. And
wow.
every one of those free to the school.
That's wild. That's awesome.
Yes, West Tennessee Healthcare has done a great job providing this service it's a community service. We want to take care of our community and let them know that, we know what it takes, and schools cannot afford to hire athletic trainers. That's been a huge issue throughout the United States. And one thing for West Tennessee parents, they're very, very, very lucky that West Tennessee Healthcare has been able to provide these services and find the best athletic trainers that we can find.
Now, you guys aren't only at the schools. It's my understanding you guys are in the clinics as well.
From time to time, we go into the clinic and help where they need. We cover local tournaments, Wolves tournaments, NAIA.
The All-Star game.
All-Star game, yeah, that's a big one. And we've been doing that for this will be our 9th year, I think, in December. And we bring in some of the best players in West Tennessee and host a game for them. We put them in hotel rooms, we feed them, we clothe them with some knickknacks here and there. And
we have athletic trainers right there on site for them at all times.
We cover every practice, cover the games. And it's been good to the community over the course of the years that we've been doing it. A lot of athletes have received football scholarships just from that game.
Wow, that's awesome.
And the reason we really want that out there is that as a parent, you really don't know what the school has to offer when it comes to your student. You want that child to play that football game, but you don't realize that Travis is there taking care, or George is there taking care of that student unless that student gets hurt. We want them to be aware that we're there being proactive, not just taking care of their child once it's hurt. Hopefully their child will never be hurt because we've got them there trying to be proactive.
Yeah. You guys aren't only in the schools, you actually work with the physical therapist around West Tennessee at different Sports Plus locations. Is that right?
Yeah, they're part of the team that we work with.
That's correct. They have accessibility to pick up that phone, call any of the 14 clinics that we have, and talk to a physical therapist. And if there is a need, they're able to take that student direct access right on over to our therapist and get them enrolled if they need PT. Now, if you had someone to get hurt and they need to go to the doctor, what do you do from there? Because you're trained to recognize certain elements of a
Yes. If someone were to get hurt at practice, and I'll take them through an evaluation, and at that point, I'll deem it necessary to go to the doctor or not go to the doctor. And if they do need to go to the doctor, I will. I set up all the appointments. I call the nurse or the doctor directly, one of the two, and I'll go with them to the doctor's appointment. That way, I'm there every step of the way to keep the coaches informed from beginning to end.
Yeah, that's a great thing. I would think if I was a coach, having my athletic trainer be there every step of the way, hearing, maybe what the physical therapist or a doctor is saying about the student. And then I would feel like there would be more trust in the athletic trainer if they were there.
Trust is there, and not only for the parents and the coaches, but the athletes also. They see that you're showing up to these appointments and that you're there and that you care, and we care, that they want to continue to be around and make sure you're informed on everything.
Yeah.
The coaches have come to rely on our trainers, our athletic trainers, to make that decision that they cannot go back out on that field, or they do need to go to that doctor. So they have built, it's taken us, years to build this trust, and now that we have built it and established what an athletic trainer can do for them, they now rely on Travis and Georgia to make the decisions, and our other 15 athletic trainers to make that decision that they have to go to the doctor and we're going to abide by these rules.
Yeah.
And no, mama, they can't go back out on the field. And that's the hard part. That's one of their hardest part, is having to stand up to the coaches and the mothers and saying, no, they cannot until we rehab them.
Yeah.
So that's a tough shoulders they got right there.
Yeah, sure. Okay, well, this has been a really great eye-opening experience to hear about what all Sports Plus athletic trainers do for the schools and students. If you ever have any questions about what you heard today on this podcast, please feel free to reach out to us at wetalkhealthpodcast@gmail.com. This has been another episode of We Talk Health.
We have 14 convenient locations to serve you, so if you're experiencing any type of pain, or if you just have a simple question you'd like to give us a call, you can call us at 800-427-0957. We have 5 in Madison County. That would be our Sports Plus North, South, our Sports Plus Aqua Therapies, Lift Therapy, and Work Plus Rehab. Yes, Lift Therapy is part of our Sports Plus, so keep that in mind as well. If you also are living outside of the Jackson area, we have Sports Plus Alamo, Brownsville, Dyersburg, Henderson, Humboldt, Lexington, Medina, Milan, and Trenton. So if you are living in West Tennessee, we have 14 convenient locations for you.